Boys and girls, my little chickens. All right, man. Before I get my day on the road here, my little pea brain, was thinking about something the other day. I made a video down below a while ago about proof of God. Okay, I'm getting into debates with people who say there's no God. Very highly intelligent people, college educated. I can tell just by the way they talk. They're very highly educated. But 99% of these people will all agree that we have two roads. Okay, you have creation from a God or evolution. Okay, so I went into my spew about evolution. And let me make the point right here. Okay, I've said it before, I've said it again. Okay, wisdom and intellectual capacity are two different things. You got to be wise to see God, okay? I mean, there's plenty of smart people out here in this world. Engineers, doctors, lawyers, you name it, scientists and this and that. They all reject God, okay? Einstein, Hawking, whoever else, all these scientists back in the day, you know, they reject God. So they're they're very smart with the science and everything else. But they have no wisdom, okay? You need wisdom. The Bible says you need wisdom to see God. You really don't. I mean, it's right in front of your face. I don't get why these people cannot see it, but they don't. For whatever reason, I don't have the wisdom to see why these people are so blind. I really don't. They just literally reject God. So anyway, guys, I got into a debate. At least, again, 99% of these people will admit there's only two roads. You have creation or you have evolution, where lightning struck the water, there's a chemical mix, and then lightning struck the ocean, and then all these animals just evolved from fish within the ocean and just came crawling right out over the course of billions of years. Okay, now, guys, let me explain something here. My mind was going. There is not one living amphibian or fish that can come out of the ocean and survive, okay? Or the lakes or the rivers. They're not designed that way, okay? They got to derive their oxygen from the gills to feed their body to stay alive. They must remain in the water. Even dolphins and some of these, they got holes on the top of their head, but they still have to stay in the water. Dolphins can actually come out and snag a bird on the land and then drag it back in, but they got to stay in the water. That's how they're designed. That's the way God created them. They are not coming out. Okay, so we cannot say that a fish came out on the beach and turned into an elephant, okay? Because once it's out on the beach, it will be dead within a matter of minutes, okay? Do we all agree on that? There is only one type of fish. It's called a lungfish, and it's in clear, brackish water, I think it is. I'm not sure where it comes from, Africa, wherever. But if there's ever a drought, okay, these fish stay in the mud for up to 3-4 years and they hibernate, okay? They can stay alive in a hibernation state. And if it rains again 4 years later, then the rain gets down there and somehow the rain activates these fish and they wake up and they go swimming back in the lake, okay? But again, they cannot stay alive out of the water unless they are in a hibernation state. So it doesn't matter. They're not coming out and living. It's not the way they were designed by God. There's a frog called a wood frog, and that's in Alaska. They freeze solid. Okay, but then when the springtime comes, their body chemistry, they have blood that's made out of antifreeze, and it thaws out, and they start jumping around catching bugs. So again, it's just the way they're designed. So anyway, let's get back to the animals again in the ocean. Now we've all come to the conclusion that there's no way a fish is going to come out and lay on the beach and turn into an elephant. Okay, it's not going to happen. So we must assume that the fish turned into an elephant underneath the water. So here we have an elephant. Now he's got to have gills. He's swimming underneath the water. He's got to have gills in order to survive, to get his oxygen, okay? Because all these animals need oxygen, everything. That's the way God designed them all, even us, everything that's living. So anyway, guys, so let's assume this elephant, he would come out of the water for a little bit, and then he'd get a little bit of fresh air, but he'd have to go back in the water to survive because he's got gills. That's the way he's designed. And then in and out, till over a course of 1 billion years, he finally acclimates himself in order to breathe the fresh air from the atmosphere. Okay, now, so now you got a male and a female elephant together that are doing this. Okay, you guys following me on this, on how absurd this is? And if the elephant doesn't have the correct hardware, then the right length of the hardware, you know, then that's not going to work, because then you can't get the female elephant pregnant once they do get up on land to have babies and populate the earth. So we got a problem there. If the elephant only has a 2-inch penis, we're crap out of luck. Okay, and this is for every animal. Okay, the horses. Now we got horses too. So now we got horses out there swimming around in the ocean, underneath the water, you know, chasing around little jellyfish so they can survive. You know, and then the horse, same thing, come in and out of the water so they can, you know, adapt and acclimate themselves into the environment. But if the horse doesn't have the right hardware and it's not long enough, then once they do finally come out and adapt themselves to the environment outside of the ocean, if they don't have the correct hardware, then they can't repopulate. And then we're talking millions of different breeds of horses, different breeds of elephants. Now we got the giraffes, okay? Now we got giraffes that are underneath the water in the ocean. They got little gills. And I think the giraffes were once seahorses. Well, wait, horses came from seahorses. Absolutely, I wasn't thinking about that. Okay, so yeah, there you go. The seahorses that are in the ocean, they turned into horses. Okay, there you have it. Okay, just like the birds, you know, we have flying fish, okay, but we have millions of species of birds. We have cockatoos and all these birds in the jungles with the big, long, colorful beaks, and every kind of bird, and the cardinals and the ravens and the eagles. They all came from one kind of fish, the flying fish, okay? Everybody see how that evolved? Absolutely, you can see where that's going. They can actually fly out of the water, but yeah, then they turned into millions of different species of birds, male and female, of course, but they had to start in the ocean. So in other words, you got cockatoos that are in the jungles, okay? They were once swimming around in the ocean. They had gills, okay? And they, you know, they were, you know, swimming around, catching little fish and this and that, but they once had gills. They were adapted to the ocean. Sparrows, crows, they were all in the ocean at one time swimming around. Then they finally come out and started flying around. You guys follow me on this, how absurd this is? So again, here we go. This is just a add-on to Proof of God that I'll throw in both these videos whenever I get into another debate with an evolutionist. And this will just strengthen my position a little bit stronger as far as I'm concerned. All right, guys, I'm into this so many minutes. I'm going to wrap it up and just use your imagination and what I'm talking about there. It is impossible for a fish to come out on land and turn into any kind of ape or any kind of animal, because it's going to be dead within a matter of seconds. Okay, so literally every single thing, including you and me, we were once fish swimming around. We had to evolve underneath the water with gills. And then somehow, you know, 2 by 2, male and female, every millions and millions and millions of species, butterflies and everything came out of the ocean. Even butterflies, even crickets, even earthworms, everything came out of the ocean. You know, it evolved in the ocean, it grew in the ocean, it adapted in the ocean, and it came out of the ocean and then adapted to the atmosphere that we're living in now. All right, guys. Peace out. Take care. God bless.